All right. Shelly, it says we're live. So if
We get a
anybody,
2x4. Anybody
yeah,
got a 2x4?
give us something and let us know that you can hear us, and we'll start here in just a minute. We're 15 seconds halfway. We can hold our breaths until
I
so.
see Patty and Rosie in there.
Yeah.
Patty's texting me while she's
Tell her
on the
tell her to quit
thing.
texting you. So all right, we're 30 seconds in. Let's go ahead and start. Shelly.
All right. Everybody, welcome back to Kentucky Sustainable Living, where we're talking about all things festival because it is 4 stinking days away. Y'all got 4 days till all the awesomeness happens. So you got me here, Shelly, Jason's right there, and our guest tonight is Suzanne Shires. I can't wait to hear her speak because I'm just totally intrigued with the whole salt thing. Like I'm just so excited about that. But yeah, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Thank you, first of all, for having me. I'm so glad to be here and to be part of this show. I hear a lot about it, hear a lot of people talking about this show. So I want to do what I can to help promote it too. Um, I'm a North Carolina native. I've got one little grandson that keeps me here. I traveled for a long while after my son was grown, but I wound up back here because I got to be close to that boy. uh, Little redhead. He's mean as a snake. Little redhead. Uh, Wonder where he got that from, right? um, well, actually, his mama is redhead too, so I can't take credit for all of that. But I've been a North Carolina native, or I've been here in North Carolina most of my entire life. I have a little homestead now. I'm in the process of moving to a larger homestead where I'll have an elderberry farm, lavender, blueberries, and a few other things. And it's actually close to my grandson. I'm about an hour from him now. So, but I've been an herbalist for about 20 years. I've been into wild food for a long time, much longer than that. Started out picking honeysuckles and poke salad with my grandparents, and we ate the berries. Yes, we did. And I teach a class on how to properly handle poke. So one of these days, I'll have to come back and do a class for you if you don't already have that. But I eat something wild every day, whether it's a seasoning, a seasoned salt with wild food. As a matter of fact, today I just picked blackberries. I'm still a little red in the face from that, and milkweed peas. There are certain varieties of milkweed. Oh, I meant to bring one over here where you can see it. There are certain varieties of milkweed that in the bud stage taste just like a green English pea. And
Really?
I like to put those in like tuna salad, pasta salad, things like that. And you can just have them as a side dish too, like peas and onions or peas and carrots. And I have had it with Queen Anne's lace roots. That would be wild carrot. I have had it, not my favorite. I'd rather have wild ramps or wild onions, wild garlic, something like that in it. But they are wonderful. So I picked a whole bunch of those, and I have about four harvests off of milkweed, the edible varieties. And there are some varieties that you can't eat. So you have to kind of know your variety. That's where your ID, not from a plant app. They're notoriously incorrect. If you use it as a starting guide, just continue on. Make sure you go and verify whether you Google it or whatever. If you're using a plant app, go to another source because you can actually change that algorithm, and people don't realize that. So they're putting in incorrect information, and it changes the algorithm. So
Wow.
I see people all the time identifying things incorrectly, and then they're going to eat it. And one lady sliced up a poke root, and she was going to just saute it up.
Oh no.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Go
I
get
mean,
the carrots.
poke root is good, but you don't want to do that with it.
No, you don't want to eat it. There are ways to use it. There are constituents that you can pull out with alcohol.
Right.
It's not water soluble. Now, the rest of the plant is the phytolacca toxin in Phytolacca americana is water soluble. That's why you can boil out the toxin and you dump the water. So people don't understand that oh, I have to boil it 3 times. No, you don't. Get small leaves. My grandmother would get them smaller than her hand, and even on up into now, if you find the plant in the right stage, like in the shade, or a young plant that came up when land was cleared. There's a place near my daddy that he's probably got 100 poke plants that came up just a month ago. And these are brand new plants. So they're 3 feet tall and all the leaves are small. And man, I was out there just gathering up a big mess of poke. And even though it was July. So people will say you can't eat it when the stem is red, things like that. But anyway, I teach a class on that, and that's a whole nother subject. But I've been an herbalist. I do sell products on my website, Simple Homestead Living. I sell products in person at shows. I do about 20 shows a year, or I did last year. So I meet a lot of people, and I'm an author, so people know me from my books. I have a wild food book as well as an herbal book, and 2 new wild foods books coming out later this year. And one of them is very special. I have a co-author. It's kind of a surprise coming out soon. So I'm really excited about that. But anyway.
So you mean not everything on the internet's correct?
There is that occasional thing that you might find.
Suzanne, you've ruined my life. You just told me everything on the internet was not true.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. No, we'll set you straight. I know you don't. I know you don't depend on that internet, but
I was really hoping for that $40 million the Nigerian prince was going to send me.
Wait a minute, I got that letter. I'm not splitting it with you.
Yeah. He's sending it to everybody.
Yeah.
You're going to have a booth at the festival. Are you going to be selling your books and stuff at the festival?
I'll have my books there. I also create herbal games for adults and children, and that's called Go Forage Games. I have an ID deck, like a playing card deck. There's actually 12 of those, 12 decks, and it comes in a set. But right now I only have the first one. It's a brand new product. I have bingos, herbal bingos, mushroom bingo, tree bingo, snake bingo is coming. There's little boys that my grandson knows that are they can't wait for snake bingo because they want to play it. And I said, you can't go scare your mom with snake bingo and spider bingo, things like that. So it's all a botanical. I'm using my botany education on some of these things. And then I do have a line of products. Birchwater Farm is my farm. And I do have a line of products, about 120, 130 different tinctures for different things, teas, salves, things like that. As a matter of fact, I had somebody call me today. They're passing kidney stones. And I just happen to have on my truck one of the best things, and it's Joe Pye root and winter huckleberry. So along with Queen Anne's lace, you can really help the body. And I'm not a doctor, so please, if you're having kidney stones, don't go do this without checking with your doctor. But you can really help ease the body, or the body to ease the passage of those stones, even if they're small, whether they're large. If they're too large, that's a mechanical issue. You're not going to pass that, and that's where modern medicine comes in. But if it's a small stone, like normal stone, well, no, that's not a word that you would use with stones, but the average stone, you can certainly ease that passage. And I just happen to have those things on the back of my truck. So I made up a kit for someone today that's pretty much in pain. His wife came and picked it up, and I'm like, here's how you do this. I laid out all the directions. Go home and boil it. Go home and do this. Go home and do that. And so sometimes it's not just a single step when it comes to herbalism. Sometimes there's a protocol that people don't really think about. You might make a tincture of this plant or that plant, or combine the two, but there's a process to many, many issues in the body. You're always dealing with liver, you're always dealing with elimination. Lymph is a a big issue for a lot of people. The swelling, the inflammation, uh, arthritis is just rampant. And I know it's our diet, but there are things that you can do to help ease that lymph and that inflammation. So I really focus on things like that to help people, to give them ease and to make life a little better, especially for cancer patients and things like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So if the quality of life is there, even with a terminal patient, if they have 1 month or 6 months or 2 years, we don't know when we're gonna pass on. But if your quality of life is better, that's my goal. Um, even cancer, even with chemotherapy, things like that, they don't tell you that you're not gonna, it's gonna be completely effective. A lot of times it is, but we can certainly help give ease to people who are having issues like that.
Mike wants to know if you're going to have the kidney stone tincture at the festival,
I will.
because he gets kidney stones, so he'll probably be hitting you up.
Okay, I will. I will have several. I have several kidney protocols because that's one that, stones is one issue. Water retention, unproductive or low productive kidneys, and then just not the body just not gathering that fluid into the kidneys to go into the bladder. And it could be a bladder issue. It could be inflammation slash infection. So we're always looking at an itis and an osis to get rid of the inflammation that causes some problems, as well as infection in that elimination system. So not only in the kidneys, but we'll take a look at liver as well. If you're on medication for different things, and so many people are, you probably need some kind of liver detox, and that's not harsh, that's not jarring to the body. That's easy. It's a protocol just to get your body back in shape, to get your liver back in shape. So that's a goal I have too. But yes, I'll bring him a bottle of kidney protocol.
He said his largest kidney stone was 17 millimeters.
I don't know if we can do anything about that. That's
Good Lord. Dude, that's like rocks out of your driveway. What are you doing?
you can pave your driveway with that. Did you have lithotripsy with that? Did he have lithotripsy?
We'll see. He'll put it out. Yeah, you
that.
could. I mean, if you got kidney stones that big, you just got to pee in the driveway, and pretty soon you'll have a gravel driveway.
There you go. Oh, I just hit the comments. Now I see it. Yeah, sometimes that's a mechanical issue, but if you have, if when you have a stone and you're stretching that urethra, it'll tear. It may get ripped. If the stone has a sharp edge, there's a lot of things you can do to ease that pain, that pressure behind the stone. Of course, basically elimination is what's going to help that. But there's other things that can help your body slide that on out to help ease that. I would suggest right now, I would go ahead and suggest marshmallow tea. You can use root if you don't grow it or you can't find it. You can use okra water. When you feel one coming on, start boiling some okra, because that mucilage is going to help. It's going to go through your body, into your kidneys, into your bladder, and help that ease. Someone that's got digestive issues can take mucilage too, and that would be the okra. That would be Rose of Sharon. You could use swamp mallow, regular marshmallow. My marshmallow gets about 10 feet tall, and it's just, the leaves just are all over it. So I gather a lot of leaves, and I use that for teas. But if you don't have anything like that, you can certainly go to a health food store and get marshmallow root. And the best way to do that is to put a tablespoon or two in a large glass of water, cool water, and let it sit overnight. Strain it, and it won't really be thick, like goopy. But you'll tell there's a little bit of mucilage in it, and just drink that freely. So you can use that. You can make marshmallows from the marshmallow root. So you can use both of those. You want me to answer that? Okra does.
Or Mike might need some of that if you got 17 millimeter kidney stone. That's what I'd have.
That would be that'd be what the doctor ordered.
That was bourbon.
That'd be what the herbalist ordered.
Yeah.
Yes, okra does help with constipation. If you have a child or even an adult, okra water, and a lot of people think, oh, I can't stand it, it's goopy. You can thin it down, just take a little bit more. Or that's why my grandmother ate okra and tomatoes, because she had a little bit of a constipation issue, and she would eat okra and tomatoes all winter. And I remember her eating that, saying, I got to have some okra tonight. And I never understood until I was older. And then I thought, oh, that's what she did. So yes, it does help. GERD is another issue that marshmallow would help with.
Really?
Yeah, GERD is one of those that it's really hard for people to, because that acid is eating away there at your esophagus, at the bottom of your esophagus, there, duodenal area. And you want to soothe that. So you want to replace that mucosal lining. And that mucosal lining goes through the entire digestive into the elimination system. So marshmallow does work all the way through, whether you're eliminating from urine, or you're eliminating from stool, feces in your digestion, even with your sweat. If you have an issue with sweating and it causes irritation, like under your arms, not from like a deodorant or anything like that, but even though you're sweating, that's part of your elimination system. And marshmallow can help soothe that, or actually change your pH, change where you're not quite so irritated. But if you have gum issues, mouth ulcers, you can swish with okra water. And I wouldn't salt it or season it in any way, because it might burn in your mouth. But if you have a cold sore or bleeding gums, things like that, I would put, if you have bleeding gums, I would put marshmallow with white oak bark. White oak bark is very astringent. I would swish that, and don't swallow that. If you're swishing for bleeding or infected gums, don't swallow it, because you'll just be swallowing that infection. So swish it, hold it in there for a few minutes, spit it out, take some with you to work, swish it when you go to the bathroom, do it multiple times a day. But that white oak bark is going to tighten those tissues. It's very tannic. It's very astringent. Some of you may recognize that word tannic from tanning hides. You want to tighten those tissues. When you're drying that, when you're working that hide, when you're tanning that hide, you're tightening it up so that it's not loose and porous. So that's what you're actually doing with GERD and mouth ulcers and other issues as well.
So does that marshmallow root help with like acid reflux and stuff like that? Is it that kind of thing too? It can help lower that acidity in your stomach?
If it doesn't lower the acidity, which for a lot of people it will, it's at least the least it's doing is healing that mucosal tissue, so that you're not having quite as much problem. But then you'll still need to take care of the acid reflux, and that could be a change in diet. That could be just adding slippery elm, different things that you can do for acid reflux. But you want to heal that tissue as well. And I would certainly do a liver detox or get on liver enhancing herbs, barring any autoimmune issues, because you certainly don't want to push the liver or the immune system when you have an autoimmune issue. So there's a lot of people with autoimmune right now. So
we're just covering everything.
Sorry, we're not talking about salt yet.
Hey, we went down the rabbit hole without me even saying
it. People tell me I feed them with the fire hose. So sorry.
I mean,
It's
we've
really
covered.
interesting, though. I mean, I'm
Oh,
liking it.
yeah. I mean, I'm interested. I mean, we've covered kidney stones, constipation, mouth ulcers, all
Sometimes I
kinds of
have
stuff.
time stopping because everything's connected. It's like this one
Yeah.
is connected to that, and yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
I do that in my classes. I'm throwing out little tidbits, and I'll go research this or go research this constituent in this plant, and the constituent in marshmallow, of course, is mucilage. There's a bunch of other things, vitamin C, antioxidant, things like that. But the main one in the marshmallow is mucilage. And if you just go and study mucilage, it's amazing what you'll find out.
Really.
So,
Well.
yeah.
All right.
I mean, it can do mucilage is emollient for your skin, but it's demulcent inside. There's a difference there. So you can put, if you have a burn, marshmallow is great. If you think of aloe, aloe is emollient for your skin. It's healing. Well, marshmallow root's actually my favorite. I mean, a lot of people will keep a bottle of aloe. I keep marshmallow. I make it up fresh, and I use it on burns. If it's a third degree burn, that's a little iffy. But if you can touch that tissue without, how burns can be,
Oh,
um, yeah, if you can actually, put something on it. And I wouldn't suggest putting that a root on an open burn. I would make a compress, which is using a cloth, as opposed to a poultice, which uses the plant material. So, but you can certainly heal because it mimics the skin when you've got a burn or you've got a cut or a scrape. If you've got a really abrasive scrape, like road rash. Used to have Harley, so I know what road rash is, unfortunately. And man, that mucilage was so soothing, so healing. And I put a little spilanthes in there with it to numb that tissue too. So, yeah.
awesome, man. We covered it all. I think. Yeah, Mike. Mark.
One stop shop, it just works for a lot of things, especially that elimination system. Now, it wouldn't do anything for your heart. Hibiscus would. Hibiscus is great for your heart, and it's in the mallow family. But marshmallow or okra, anything like that, is not necessarily good for your heart or good for brain function, things like that. But it does, as far as your elimination system and your digestive system, it's great, great.
Awesome.
Like I'm looking up what marshmallow plant looks like because I don't know if I have it here or not.
You probably do.
If you
I
have
got a lot of stuff.
if you have a rose of Sharon, the flower looks like a rose of Sharon flower. The
I
leaf,
have
actually,
Rose of Sharon.
yeah, the leaf is larger and fuzzy. It's pretty fuzzy. So,
All right.
yeah.
All right.
Somebody look that up. Look up mucilage, like mucus. So those mucosal tissues, you're replacing those. You're helping to heal those. So that's where your marshmallow comes in.
All right. Suzanne, you're going to do a speech on finding salt in the wild, but also you're doing a workshop. You're doing fermentation of wild and domestic foods. Let's hit on that a little bit, and we'll make the people wait for the salt because I don't hear a lot of people talking about salt in the wild. Everybody, when they're talking about salt, they're talking, well, we're gonna get it from the ocean and go out and take ocean water and do that and get the salt there. So we're going to make people wait on the salt. But tell us, like the fermenting wild domestic foods.
Okay.
I mean, there's tons of benefits on having actual fermented foods.
Oh, there is. If you have gut issues, that would be what I would suggest for the GERD or the acid reflux. Get on ferments, and people don't realize how wide the category is for ferments. If you're if you're if you have all of those issues, anything digestive, because there's lacto fermentation. Of course, people know beer and know wine, things like that. Those are fermented as well, but that's a completely different kind of ferment, as well as vinegar. Vinegar is fermented, and that uses a mother or a SCOBY. The class that we'll be doing here is lacto fermentation, and lacto means to express. So you're expressing the liquid, the fluid, the juice out of those vegetables so that the bacteria and the yeast can actually ferment and make live cultures for your gut. Now, I can eat ferments 3 times a day. My gateway ferment that I get people on is fermented ginger, garlic, carrots. And we'll talk about that at class. So, and it is fabulous. It's one of the best pickles you'll ever eat. But it's a carrot.
Sounds good.
It's tasty. I'm gonna. It's too late. Probably too late for me to get some going now. But I can start them, and they'll be bubbly. Like when you open the jar, it's like they have, like you just opened a Sprite. I mean, they bubble. That's because there's sugar in the carrots, and but there's 2 types of lacto fermentation. There's brined and self-brining vegetables. Kraut or something like that that's chopped fine, that's a self-brining vegetable. But now the brined would be like carrot sticks where you need the liquid to keep them fresh. So we'll be talking about both types of fermentation under the lacto fermentation. So we'll do both of those. And then even cheese, aged cheese is fermented. Cold cuts, dried salami, things like that, those are fermented. You don't call it ferment, you call it a brined or dried or smoked, but it's still fermented. But we're going to focus solely on the lacto fermentation. And we'll gather some, if anybody wants to help me. I'm not sure if there's a lot to gather around the festival grounds, but I'll gather some things here. I've got dandelion greens, I've got several other types of greens, and I'll talk about some of the wild food. And when you're in a survival situation, focusing on that nutrition is key. People say, oh, you're going to need calories. You're going to need calories. Yeah, you're going to need calories, but you're going to need nutrition because we're storing so much dead food. If you've got your, there's how many different brands, and I don't mean to knock anybody because it's good food. We're going to need food, right? But it's got a lot of salt. It's heavy in preservatives, things like that. So you're going to need some fresh food. And if you know how to ferment that, and this is going to go right along with the salt class. So if you know how to ferment that food, you're going to increase your nutrition tenfold. Because the vitamin C alone is just huge in a jar of kraut or kimchi or whatever you're fermenting. I make a hot sauce with Scotch bonnets and Carolina Reapers, and I can't eat it. I can't even be in the same room with it. But I take it outside, and I'm making this for some friends, and I'm like, here, come get it. You're going to have to keep it. It's not going in my kitchen. But it's hot, and boy, you talk about good, because I'll put lemons in it and cayenne pepper and the salt, of course. But then we just flavor it. It's not just hot. There's just so much flavor in it because it's fermented. So, and that's a great way if you have people that are finicky. They're really not thriving. If you can get them on some ferments, even if they just suck on it and don't chew it up. Because I like it crunchy and crispy and sour. A lot of times that'll jumpstart, it makes my mouth water just thinking about it. So, but if you can get people to thrive once they start, get used to ferments. We go to a restaurant and my friend will say, this needs some of your seasoning. Because I ferment everything. I ferment all my seasonings. I ferment, if I don't like a ferment that I've made, I'll dehydrate it and use it for mashed potato sprinkles or salad sprinkle, or crush it, grind it up and use it as seasoning, or crush it up and put it in soup. And you're just adding so much flavor to all these different foods. So it's not just a scoop of kraut. If you're just not really thrilled about having to eat kraut, take the class. You'll be really glad you did. We talk about a lot of stuff.
So Miss Sharon has a question. Is it true that the parts of Rose of Sharon are edible, all of them?
Yes. leaves are edible. I have to look up roots, whether they're edible. They're not palatable. They're not meristematic. So that means you could put them in a soup or grind them up and use them for some other way. But just chopping down on one might not be that delicious. But the leaves, the buds, the flowers, especially the flowers, and I put the flowers. I'll dry the white flowers and add them to a toothpaste, to a tooth powder to make. You remember that commercial? It's a great feeling. That chick rubbed her tongue.
Yeah.
Rubbed her tongue. Y'all got to be my age before you realize what
Yeah,
this
I
is.
remember it.
But she just goes, it's a great feeling. Well, she rubbed her tongue across her teeth, and they were slick. Well, marshmallow, the leaves of Rose of Sharon, because it's so plentiful for me, I have it growing in about 6 different spots. I'll dry it, grind it up, and put it in my tooth products.
Really?
So Bill wants to know, are sow thistle bloom buds edible like the young leaves are?
They are. Again, there's a meristematic. If it's not the tasty bits, you can always put them in a soup or put them in a broth and strain it out. Just because it's edible doesn't mean you have to chow down on it. You can get all of the goodness out of it. And I'm a firm believer that if you get down to the non-meristematic part, the stiff stem, chew it and then spit it out. Get the goodness out of it. I mean, you can even eat grass that way. You pull a long stem of grass like foxgrass. You get that part down at the bottom that's white and looks juicy. A lot of people will chew on that. Chew on it and spit it out. You're getting the nutrition there, even though you can't digest that fiber. So you spit the fiber part out, but you get the stuff that's in between the fiber that holds the fiber together. So there's a lot of ways to get nutrition in the wild, and whether you're in a field or in the forest. But yes, the sow thistle is edible. The flowers are edible. The roots are edible. The question is if it's meristematic to you.
All right. That's pretty neat. I'm not a sauerkraut person whatsoever. I've just never been. My aunt and uncle made it all the time when I was growing up and over at their house, and I just thought that I would see them eating, and I'm like, that is the nastiest looking stuff ever. And I'm like, I don't like it.
I had somebody give me 3 big heads of cabbage, and I made sauerkraut this last weekend. I started it. I love sauerkraut.
Mm-hmm.
I like raw cabbage. I don't like cooked cabbage or grilled or anything like that, but I love sauerkraut and I love raw cabbage in a salad. So
I like cabbage in a salad. One of my favorite ferments is cranberries and apples in with cabbage, with just a regular green head of cabbage. And you can put garlic and ramps. I'll put ramps. I get a bunch of ramps every year, and I ferment them. So, but let's see, the cranberries, and I'm using Cornelian cherries now for my cranberries. If anybody has a Cornelian cherry tree, I just made 6 jars of Cornelian cherry cranberry sauce. So I'm going to do a Wild Foods event in Georgia with Anne Marie Belia, and she asked me to do the meats. So one of the meats I'm going to do, I'm kind of giving away a little secret here, is a sumac brined turkey with Cornelian cherry cranberry sauce. So that sumac brine is fabulous. If you know sumac, that's one of the best seasonings that you'll use. So it's really good, really good.
That sounds good. I don't even like turkey, but I'd try that.
Yeah, turkey is my favorite. I would rather have a turkey than chicken. So
I there's something about turkey I just don't like it. And my mom was putting corn up this week, and she told me the other day we went down there to her house, and she was like, "I've got a turkey breast that I had to thaw out. I had to make room in the freezer." She's like, and we do Sunday dinner at my house, and everybody comes up. And she's like, "What if I do a turkey breast?" And she's like, "I'll fix dressing with it and gravy and everything." So and then she's like, "I'll do a pumpkin pie." And I was like, "Are we having like Thanksgiving in July or what?" So essentially, yeah, realistically, last night we had Thanksgiving dinner in July, and I'm like, this is kind of weird, but
Well, I bet if you were to have that sumac brine turkey, anytime you're brining wild meat, especially, instead of using a vinegar base, I have found that a salt brine base, and if you have extra kraut juice, by the way, dehydrate some kraut and sprinkle it on your potatoes. If you don't like it, just dehydrate it and sprinkle it. Oh, just completely changes, and you're
Really?
getting those probiotics. You're still getting those probiotics, but yeah, if you I take and ferment the sumac in some salt water, and especially if I'm grinding up sumac for seasoning, and it's called zatar, ZA'ATAR, zatar. It's a Mediterranean spice, but if you're, I'll make my own zatar, but then the fines, the seed, and the just the outer bits will be left over, and you have to grind it in a low-powered grinder. Do not grind it like in a Vitamix, because then it's just going to be grainy because you'll grind up the seed. Use a coffee grinder or something like that, very low power, and grind it, sift it, and you get the nice powder. And then save those fines that you sift out. Save that for seasoning or for lemonade or whatever you're going to use. So if you're double duty there, you're not wasting so much. And I'll take and just stuff that in a jar, fill it full of water and some salt, and let that sit for about 3 days. And then I'll strain that off and use that water, that brine, to brine my turkey. Oh, so good, so good.
It sounds like it.
Bill wants to know, what can you do with wild black cherries?
Make a syrup. Make a syrup and then have cherry soda with tonic water. That's just a tiny bit of quinine in the tonic water, not much, but every little bit helps. You can make your own tonic water with cinchona bark if you wanted to. But if you have the just tonic water from the grocery store, make your syrup, and it doesn't have to be thick, depending on how much sugar you want to use. Most of my jams are thin because I don't use as much sugar. A lot of times jams, you have more sugar than you do fruit. Well, I'd rather have preserves where the fruit is more, you get more fruit than you do sugar. But I'll mash that up, strain it, boil the berries, boil the cherries, mash that up, strain it, and then I'll put my sugar in there to make a syrup, and it'll be thin. It won't be like pancake syrup. Put a quarter cup in a glass of ice and fill it with tonic water. Ooh, that's so good. And then save the pits. Put the pits in alcohol to make almond extract. So you don't throw away your pits.
Wow.
That's your almond extract there.
Wow.
I'm drinking from a fire hose tonight.
I know. Like, I'm sitting here going, I'm going to have to come back and rewatch this video and write down notes. Like, oh my gosh.
I was making a few notes, and I'm like, screw it, let's go back and watch it. So,
well, I have a laboratory in my kitchen. So, because I've got, let's see, 4 jars, and all of the jars are different. I'm talking 2-quart jars of ramps fermenting with something. There's the bulbils on garlic. Oh, if you let your scapes, if you cut your scapes off of garlic, you've got a scape, and you can just dip that in butter on your grill. Just let it simmer in the dish of butter on the grill, and then just use that scape to put on your, to dab butter on your steak on the grill.
Yeah.
And then garnish your steak with that nice curly little scape. Well, leave some scapes to let them bloom, and you get these neat little bulbils. And I'll bring some. I've got some laying over here on the counter. I'll bring some this weekend. But you've got these neat little bulbils, or just bursts of garlic in your mouth, and I'll ferment those, and you can use those like a caper. So they're garlic capers. I get 5 harvests off of my domestic garlic, and I never harvest the bulb.
really?
So I'm doing a webinar on that, and that'll be available on my Patreon soon.
Right. I'm down with garlic. I love garlic. Garlic on anything is good, no matter what.
Yeah.
Wild garlic has a little bit of a different taste. I'm sure everybody is familiar with ramps, or most people should, in Kentucky should be. In Ohio, up your way, you should be very familiar with ramps. And if you got a really good patch, I'm looking for some seed. If you happen to pick any, I'll trade you something. Bill, if you got ramps, I'll give you some kidney tincture. But anyway, the ramps are wonderful, but then the onions have a thin, almost, if you think of chives, that's what the onion looks like. And you can dig up that little clump of bulbs, and that's where the bulb has sprouted and resprouted and resprouted. That's why you have such a clump of bulbs. Well, domestic garlic will do that too. So I use garlic for pest control. Aphids hate it. Japanese beetles hate it. Deer hate it. So it's very, very useful to have a lot of garlic. And you just make take a 5-gallon bucket, 2 big hot onions, and three bulbs of garlic. Chop that up in the bucket of water. Let it sit in the sun, and then strain it and spray it on everything. You won't have Japanese beetles,
Really?
so, or aphids, or cabbage lopers, or deer in your garden. So they just don't like it. They don't like
That works.
I like
Hey,
the ramps, and I'm thinking I might have this growing out in my forest.
the wild garlic, or the wild
The ramps.
the ramps.
Like I've
Well,
never seen this before, but I think I have it growing.
yeah, I just got some ramson seed. That's a different kind of ramps from Europe. So I've planted on my new property. I'll have ramps and ramson seeds, or ramsons, which are more plentiful. Over in Europe, it's considered an invasive. And another one is garlic mustard. I love garlic mustard, but that's a spring edible, so it's hard to find now. It's gotten bitter once it bolts, just like anything else. That's why poke gets bitter, is because it bolts. But the leaves, the leaves lose their flavor after the plant bolts.
oh
So,
yeah. Bill said he's got wild chives,
oh yeah,
and he says that apparently they're growing like wild in his yard. So,
yeah, they're
oh
great.
yeah, and it is. It's amazing what if you just let your yard grow.
Mhm.
It's amazing the amount of edible stuff and useful stuff that you've got in your yard. It's
That's
like,
true. That's
yeah,
true.
I
Let it
mean,
grow one season, and or once a season. Let it get really wild, really tall, and you might have to bush hog it, but you'd be amazed at what you actually have.
oh
Um,
yeah, I've got no problem letting it grow wild. I hate mowing my yard.
yeah, I do too.
That's that's why
Um,
we're converting it to clover. Mow it,
Clover
mow,
is awesome, awesome.
yeah,
Red clover or white clover or
white
sweet
clover.
clover.
We've got a bunch of white clover that's come up naturally, and I'm like, this stuff doesn't get but like 6 or 8 inches tall. I'll be able to mow it like every month and be good.
Yep.
So
Red clover, which is actually lavender, you can take and pull the flower apart and just sprinkle that with salt. Makes a great seasoning. A little bit sweet and sour, or excuse me, sweet and salty. Just kind of gives a little sweetness to the salt. Um, Men don't necessarily want to do a tremendous amount. Like if you're heavy on the salt, I would go light on the clover because it's an estrogenic. But it's not going to be so much that you're going to start having issues. Just if you have an estrogen related issue like breast cancer, um, ovarian cancer, things like that, where it's estrogen related, you do have to watch that estrogen intake. But otherwise, anybody can have it.
I personally like my sheep to eat clover and convert it to lamb burgers and lamb chops. That's the
Yeah.
way I like to eat my clover. So
Well, there's a sweet clover I'm looking for. I've got seeds, and I keep looking for it on the side of the road, and it should be up now. Um, but it gets tall, and it's a white. You wouldn't think it's a clover. It doesn't look like Trifolium pratense. It doesn't look like that. It's a white, tall clover, thin, and cattle love it.
really,
Yeah, any ruminant loves sweet clover.
oh yeah.
Bill
So,
says you can also eat the white portion of the red clover blooms.
Yep.
Wow. It says
Those
it's sweet as honey. All right,
they're very good.
Suzanne, don't give away all the secrets, but hit like a 10,000 foot view of finding salt in the wild.
Okay.
When we got a hold of you and were talking about it, I'm like, salt in the wild. I'm like, that's up my alley. I'm like, let's do this thing, but don't give away the secrets yet. Do that. Wait until Friday to give away the secrets on that. But like the 10,000 foot view of finding
Okay.
salt in the wild.
I'm going to show you some plants. I'm going to bring some samples of plants. I'm going to show you some things on how to actually create your salt. We're going to talk about different plants that you can get salt from. You don't have to have a salt well, or I think there's several in Virginia. I'm sure y'all know Big Jim, and he takes his salt pot around and
Yeah.
he gets that salt. Well, salt was a very precious commodity for those who had the salt, even like the Roman road in biblical times, salt was a commodity. You needed it to leaven bread, so it was very important. Now we think of salt as being a white or pink crystalline type mass, maybe gray, but it's always something that you sprinkle from a salt shaker, so to speak, sodium chloride. That's not necessarily the only type of salt that you can use. Now, we'll talk about different ways to get your salt, different methods to get your salt, and the different plants. And you'd be surprised at some of these plants that you can get salt from.
Really.
So,
Now are most of these plants pretty well native to most parts of the country?
oh, they are. Yes. Everyone that I'll talk about, I'm pretty sure is native. And you may have to look for it. You may have to actually plant it to get it. I transplanted some here, and it just happens to take over. It's a native, and it will not necessarily take over, but I let it go, and it'll so it's taken over everywhere that I've put it. And I love it. It's a beautiful plant. It's a ground cover. Keeps out my stilt grass. Ugh, I have stilt grass like crazy. But you can use it, this particular plant, along with some others that are actually ground covers too, for that seasoning. And then if you're going to preserve meat, we'll talk about that, how to use it, or what to do with preserving meat. We'll talk about several ways to incorporate this into your daily life.
Okay. Now the salt that you're getting from these plants, how is it different than your Morton salt that you're going to buy at the grocery store?
Most of these plants are going to be a mineral salt, and we are sorely lacking in minerals. Now, if you're using iodized salt, that's bad iodine. That's not a good iodine. It was a byproduct of World War II. They needed to put it somewhere, so guess where they put it? Just like fluoride. Don't get me started on fluoride. It was a byproduct, so it had to go somewhere. Oh, there's an iodine shortage. People are having goiters, so let's put this iodine. Well, it's the wrong kind of iodine. There's two different kinds of iodine, and this is not the kind that we need, that our body needs, that our body recognizes. So there are issues with an iodized salt, and you don't want to use iodized salt in canning. It can discolor your lids. It can cause failures. I know people have used iodized salt for years. That's luck of the draw. But that just about everybody has a failure once in a while on a canning jar, and they have found that iodized salt can cause the ring to have some issues, along with vinegar too. We're no longer cleaning the rim with vinegar unless it's an oily product like beef or fat or ghee, something like that. But the iodine is not the only mineral that you need. Now a lot of people are using Himalayan salt. Well, now we're finding that Himalayan salt has arsenic, especially if it's coming from Pakistan, not the Israeli, and I forgot.
Oh gosh.
Mhm. It's got a lot of the cheaper Himalayan salt comes from Pakistan. And I found this out from a lady who imports huge pieces of salt, huge rocks of salt, and she was getting it, some of it from Pakistan. And she does her chemical analysis on it. She sends off a piece, and it came back high in arsenic. So she almost lost her business there.
Yeah.
So arsenic and lead, several different things. And have a I have a theory on lead. I didn't come up with it myself, but lead is not a problem that they told us it was. So that's a little conspiracy theory. If you want to talk about it, come over to my booth and I'll tell you what I'm. My
Oh,
theory is lead.
So
we
we
can go
use
down lead in a minute.
we
Oh,
use we use Redmond salt.
Redmond.
Is it okay?
Yeah, I use
Okay.
Redmond. Yeah.
Now,
I love that stuff. It's so much more flavorful than just regular like salt, like the iodized salt you get at the grocery store. The first time I tried it, I was like, "This is like some kind of seasoning or so." Like it just doesn't taste like regular salt. It's so good.
Right. Right. I love it. I love it.
now, will that salt be more like the Celtic sea salt that we're getting from the plants?
Celtic sea salt, just had a recall.
Did it?
Celtic sea salt is here the company is here in Asheville,
Yeah.
Asheville, North Carolina. So they just had a huge recall. And I don't remember if it was lead or arsenic, but their salts were contaminated. I think they've gotten it taken care of. But, the way I feel about it, everybody has slip ups. I don't feel like it was a bad product. I don't feel like it was poor quality. Somehow they got a contaminated batch. Any food is going to be that way.
Well, now the thing behind the contaminated batches of stuff, it's quote contaminated, but then if you look at it, there's all kinds of recalls on certain things, and then they're just putting them in these deep underground storage bases for the government.
Right. So
the government needed a bunch of Celtic
Here
sea
we go
salt.
with a rabbit hole.
Hey, the government needed a bunch of Celtic sea salt for these underground bases, so they went to the Celtic sea salt and were like, "Hey guys, you have a contamination of lead in here. We'll take this off your hands and don't tell anybody."
yeah, I'm a second generation conspiracy theorist. I've been doing this since the 70s. So I can tell you about some old conspiracy theories that we forget about, that if, of course, I was a kid, but I remember my mother, she panicked over certain things. Y2K, she didn't think the world was going to end, but what if bad things started happening? And what is her 4 little kids going to do? Of course, we were teenagers by that time. So she was stockpiling and putting stuff back. And we always had huge gardens. My daddy didn't believe in stringing up the beans because he had 4 people shorter than him to pick beans. We had to bend over and pick beans. He didn't string them up. So, and I mean, my mother would put up 250, 275 quarts of green beans every year, just green beans, at least twice that many tomatoes. And because we would have spaghetti or soup at least once a week. And so I've got this long history of buying a year's supply or focusing on what am I going to have to eat this fall, or
Right.
the spring comes up and the plants come up in the spring, but there's February and March that not much comes up. So what are we going to do? Right. So I've got this long background of doing that type of thing, and I have to cut back. I have to, because I live alone, but I have to pull back on what I preserve because my instinct is there's 12 gallons of blackberries and I'm only picking 2.
Yeah.
So I have to make myself pull back.
Yeah. All right. Now, since you're in a long line of conspiracy, did we actually land on the moon?
Oh
my God, we were talking about that today in a training class.
Have you really taken a good look at that tin can?
Yeah.
On legs.
Yeah. I don't think we landed on the moon, and I honestly am almost ready to say the Earth is flat.
The firmament, I mean, when the Bible tells you there is a firmament, I am not flat. Did I say flat? Did I say flat Earth?
It's more dome-shaped Earth. Shelly, we're gonna have to do like the conspiracy night. Look, see, she's getting upset. She's rubbing her head now.
Shelly, if I started something here, y'all gonna be gathering around my books.
No, this is not you. It's not you. Trust me, it's not you.
I find a little bitty crack, and I just blow the crack open.
Oh no.
This is daily. This is life with Jason. It is what it is.
They landed that little thing on stilts that looked to me like drywall stilts. You know what I'm talking about? That's what they landed, this how many ton thing, and it just
Yeah. All right.
My son-in-law is convinced that the moon landing did not happen. He's like,
didn't.
no, I don't believe it.
Well, what's his face? Glenn, I start to say Glenn Beck. What's his name?
The astronaut.
His last name's Glenn, right?
Yeah, that's right. He slipped up and said some things, and boy, they were pulling that back. That was, but I remember that. See, I remember that.
Oh,
Some of y'all don't. Y'all are younger than me.
Yeah.
So.
Suzanne, tell us about the lead thing. If it will not get us kicked off YouTube.
Okay, there's this substance that was in paint. But what do they put on you when they do an x-ray?
Lead
vest.
Lead vest.
Or apron or whatever, yeah.
Around your windows and your walls, and what was in the paint? Something that we just talked about.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was banned. All of it. Not just what they were painting baby cribs with because some kid chewed on the edge of his baby crib. They took out all of it.
Yeah.
Right? Well, about that time, this AI and things like that have been here a lot longer than what you think. I have a friend, I think he's in his 80s now. He was in Army intelligence. And he, back in the early 70s, he had a computer just like the ones on these. There was a program, there was a TV show or a movie, and the computer talked and took over. And he had a computer that would talk to him. It would say, "Good morning, George." I'm using another name. "Good morning, George. How are you?" And he would say, "Fine, thank you, Emmeline." And she would say, "Do you want your coffee today? I'll turn it on for you." And it would turn the coffee machine on. He had to, of course, get it prepped the night before. But this was back in the early 70s. And he says, people think it's just now coming about, but
yeah, whatever we have going on now, you can pretty much guarantee it was actually developed for military use or whatever several decades before we're seeing it. So yeah, I totally believe that.
Yeah. And what will they tell you? Oh, if they're going to make fun of you, you think somebody's going to plant a chip in your head. Oh, that's 80s technology. We're way past chips. Don't come at me with chips. We're talking nano technology that can stream in your bloodstream.
Oh yeah.
There is nanotechnology small enough to infiltrate, and not every parasite, you see a lot about parasites right now. Not every parasite is a living, breathing animal / insect. I'm a believer in that.
Yeah. I mean, we could touch the third rail, but we're not going to touch that third rail that starts with a C. And it's not COVID, it's CAN something. That'll get us kicked off YouTube fast.
Right. Well, I was talking about taking out the chemicals out of paint. Well, about the time that technology came around was when there was listening devices, things like that. Well, they couldn't penetrate. The devices couldn't penetrate.
That's funny.
I didn't make it up myself. I can't put my finger on some literature right this moment, but I can find some stuff for you. Later, I can look for some things. But yeah, I'm a firm believer that we have only broached the subject. We haven't delved into it.
I tell you, I'm repainting the inside of my house right now. I think I've got a lot of lead for making bullets. I might melt some and put in the paint. I mean, Lincoln's old enough that he doesn't chew on the windows or anything. So,
You can get lead blankets, like if you're putting up insulation.
oh, we could. We tore out. I've torn out a bunch of old shower pans because I'm a contractor that are lead lined pans, and man, I take those things and roll them up, stick them down by the shop, and I'm like, I'm gonna melt those and make some bullets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've got a bunch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make my own lead based paint, Shelly.
You go, Jason.
Sorry, Shelly. Sorry.
This is fun. All right, we probably need to cut the shenanigan stuff. Shelly?
Yeah, we need to talk about the festival. So the festival starts this Friday, y'all. It's Monday. You got 4 days.
Yeah.
If you go to KentuckySustainableLiving.com and register for our newsletter, sign up for our newsletter, you'll get a discount code, 10% off of anything on our site, which includes our tickets. So you could get a little bit of a discount on tickets in advance. Tickets are $35 for adults, and children 17 and under get in free. That's for the whole weekend, for all of the workshops, all of the speakers. You can't beat that with a stick, man. Go get your tickets and come get your learning on for real. Some of the speakers that we have, besides Suzanne here, who's going to teach us how to find salt in the wild, some of the speakers we have. Yeah, we've got William Bond's going to be there talking about building a permaculture homestead. He's also doing a workshop on how to make compost. S&B Homestead Radio is going to be doing communication. We've got Chronically Healthy. They're going to be talking about, which I've been telling that like this title, that's not even what they're going to be talking about. So I'm going to tell you right now what they're going to be talking about. They're going to be talking about how to decode food labels. It's so important. This whole new thing that I'm on, this health kick, whatever, learning what is in your food, because they will disguise all the bad stuff with all things, just words that you don't know. And you read through it and you're like, I don't know what it means, but it tastes good, so I'm going to eat it. Don't. Learn to decode your food labels.
Yeah, like fructose corn syrup is now 6 different ingredients.
Right. So they list those out and you don't know what you're getting, right?
Right.
Jeff Smith is going to be talking. He's going to be doing a talk on active aggressor awareness and strategies. Bear from the internet, he's going to be talking about building community. That's just a few of them. Some of the workshops we have a dog training workshop. We've got a canning workshop. We've got a how to make biochar workshop. We've got a yogurt and butter making workshop. We got a land navigation workshop, cast iron cooking, how to make sausage and bacon, how to do sourdough, an herbal workshop. We've got, oh my gosh, we've got all the things. There's only a few things. There's like 17 workshops. There's a few things that I'm like, I wish we could have gotten that. So it's going on the list for next year. Yeah. But you can't get a better deal anywhere. And we've also got, we finally got it organized out. We're going to have a couple kids activities every day. So there's going to be something for the kids to do. We're going to have food trucks there. You'll be able to get your lunch and everything. Jason, do you want to tell them about the auction Saturday night?
Yes, Saturday night, 5:30ish Saturday night, after everything winds down at the festival. Probably, honestly, one of the most important things we're doing at the festival is an auction for Caleb House. Anybody is welcome to come to this. And if you don't know, Melanie, can you put the link to Caleb House's website in the chat? If you don't know what Caleb House is, TJ is started. He's had it going for several years. Caleb House is a restoration facility for children that have been sex trafficked. They rescue those children, rehabilitate them. We're going to raise as much money as we can for that charity. We've got an auction. We're going to have the barbecue food truck. We'll be there serving barbecue. If you want to get some barbecue, come sit down, bid on some awesome stuff. Come do that. It costs you absolutely nothing to come to the auction. You can hang out, do that, bid on some stuff. We've got everything from small items to big items. We've got consultations. We've got classes, tactical classes. We've got herbal classes, medical classes, radio classes, anything that you can think of. And these people have donated. And on the website, if you go to the front website, if you go to the festival website, which is on there, click festival, scroll down, you'll see the link for that. It's got all the awesome donors for this. There's too many. We've got dog training too. I know Jennifer was in here just a minute ago with our shepherds. Jennifer is doing dog training classes that you can buy. That is probably the most important thing that we're going to do at this. Yes, we're going to have fun. We're going to learn a bunch of stuff, but we're going to raise a ton of money for these kids that need it the most. So, and also Miss Sharon said,
Yeah, I saw those.
yeah, Jay with Prepared Citizens, his dad has been in hospice. His dad's not looking real good. Jay is not going to be there. He texted me the other day, and he said, "Sorry, dude, I can't be there. He's got issues with his dad." I'm like, "Take care of your dad. Do the family first." And I said, "You can come back next year." So keep Jay's dad, Jay, and his family and everything in their prayers. So, but yes, Caleb House, we can pack 325 people in there. So if we pack 325 people, everybody gives $10. That's $3,250 off the bat that we can raise. So that's it. That's all I've got. So are we going to, and
That's all I've got.
Yeah. So get your tickets. It's going to be worth it. Don't give me the crap of, oh, I live 4 hours away. That's hogwash. People are coming. Yeah. People are coming in from Iowa. There's one guy coming in from Canada to teach you about dog training. So if a guy can come from Canada to show you about dogs, you can drive 4 hours to learn all this stuff. So,
and I will be driving 8 hours, and they're bringing. They emailed me today and told me they had a gimpy rooster that has become a pet, but they can't keep it. So they want to bring it and see if somebody else wants it. And if they can't find somebody to take it, I guess they're going to donate it to our chicken butchering class.
We're going to put it in a canner.
So. But so Mike messaged me. He wanted me to call him after the live. He messaged me something about the chicken bingo. Maybe we could use the gimpy rooster in the chicken bingo game.
Hey, that would work. That sounds good with me. So
we guys, make lemonade with lemons, y'all. That's what we do.
Yeah. So have we decided what we're going to do Thursday? Are we going to do like a live early?
Yeah.
Be on the lookout for it. We don't know exactly what time.
Probably sometime in the afternoon, because we've got to get everybody situated with their booths and stuff, and we usually have most of the booth people, the vendor booths come in on Thursday, but probably something in the afternoon. Be looking for a live. We're not sure what time. If we come up with the time, we'll put something on there early to let you know.
Well, and then I will be on tomorrow morning with my morning show. I'll be on at 8 o'clock Central Time. So if you want to catch that, jump on here. We're going to be drinking coffee, and I hadn't got a topic yet, but I will figure it out before tomorrow morning. And I'm going to have Suzanne back on the morning show sometime, and we're going to talk about conspiracy stuff.
I would love that.
Yes. I found a partner in crime to talk about conspiracy stuff.
Man, I tell you, I'm going to have to brush up. You're a little...
I get on TikTok and start scrolling TikTok before I go to bed, and it's like, have you heard about this conspiracy theory? And I'm just like all into it. I'm like, uh-oh. So
that guy, you see him, he puts something in search and the words automatically populate. That's me, man. I am just not on Google, but on the ones I use.
See, one of my biggest fans is Bill. He loves the morning coffee. So, all right, guys, we appreciate it. I'll be back Monday morning, and then we'll be back Thursday sometime. Stay tuned. We don't know exactly what time. And if we don't see you tomorrow or Thursday, we will see you at the festival on Friday for sure. Y'all have a good night, and we appreciate you.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Bye.